Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the GonzoEwok channel with me, Gonzo, for part 11 of our RimWorld playthrough. Okay, right. I'm recording this right off the back of the last episode, and if you've watched that one, I'll be surprised if you managed to make it all the way through, because I was hacking my guts up. I was coughing and spluttering left, right and centre. I'm recording all of the episodes that you're watching over the past few weeks all in one sitting. And yeah, I've still got this horrible cold going on, so I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to play it. If I know it's going to be a bad one, I might mute my microphone. If it's not particularly bad, I'll just leave the thing going, I think, and just kind of put up with it. But yeah, it's always the danger when you're doing recording like this. If you do a few episodes off the bat, you hit a bit of a sweet spot with your throat, you know, and everything feels quite nice. Your throat feels quite warm. You know, that nice dulcet tones of my voice coming through there. And then all of a sudden you kind of hit the wall and it's just like your throat's being cut. If anybody does any kind of teaching or presentation or public speaking, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And believe it or not, my mother was actually a lecturer. She was a nursing lecturer specialised in cancer care. She's retired out of Greece now. But yeah, she was having a bit of trouble with her throat, so she went to see a Greek doctor. And there was a bit of a language barrier there. She speaks a smattering of Greek and he spoke a smattering of English. But he took one look at her throat to see what was going on. He said, "Oh, you've worked as a teacher, haven't you? You've been a teacher." She said, "How do you know that?" And he said, "Well, I can just tell by your vocal cords." And it's literally, you know, if you're doing a job where you're talking a lot for a living, which I do outside of messing around with YouTube as well, yeah, you can cause some long-term damage to your vocal cords, or certainly that kind of behaviour can show on your vocal cords, I should say. Yeah, that was me talking for nearly 2 minutes without taking a breath, so that's hurting my throat again, which isn't great. I've just noticed we've got some elephants. We did have elephants before, but they kind of wandered close to the base. Also have these ship chunks have just dropped down. We've got a little notification there, which is quite nice to see. Just about got the bedroom for Inessa built. But, I mean, to be honest, we're kind of waiting for the game to make something kick off, really. I'm thinking, do we maybe need to think about different facilities we could build? To be honest, I don't even think we really need anything else going on as a priority. I think we're sitting fairly pretty here. We need the game to throw something at us, and it's given me a very easy time of it here. Usually it's not that easy. Well, it's certainly not as easy as we're seeing it here. So yeah, we're just kind of watching the world go by, really. A little bit of building to do, you know, and finish off building like a bit of a perimeter, I suppose. We are out of wood. That is one thing. So let's find some trees. Yeah, I mean, there's really not that many trees left around. There's a few that are grown, but you can see, I mean, these are quite young. The oak trees that were grown, these are very slow to grow, but they will give a lot of decent quality wood. Once we've got these fully grown. Needs light level 50, growth rate at 0. Oh, well, that's probably, hopefully, because it's overnight. You know, looks quite dark here. That light's working now, that's good. Somebody's eventually built that. I was worried about that last episode. Yeah. Nessa's doing a bit of cookery there. Bringing that meal count up. What's your cooking? Is it rice? Doing some rice. Havoc's coming on leaps and bounds. We shuffled around the work orders last episode, and Havoc is now doing a lot of stone cutting. Sorry, that was a bad cough. So yeah, things are ticking along quite nicely here, really. Inessa is going to sleep back in the medical bay for another night. What we might do actually is maybe get some more beds down in here, because at the moment, if 2 people are injured, once Inessa's got her room over here, we've got 2 medical beds. But we'll get 3 and 4 in here as well. And we need wood. Wood is going to become a bit of a bottleneck, I think. The other thing is wood we rely on. We've got a couple of turbines, but as you can see at the moment, it's still night. We're not generating anything. So we kind of rely on the wood-fired Jenny. So it could be at some point we maybe need to think about swapping out from the fuel generator to something else. We have got steel. We have got some components. So maybe we need to put down a few solar panels. Might not be a bad goal for this episode, really. But we do need wood. We've got that tree farm growing. I want to check on that when it's light to make sure that everything's going to be okay with it. But for the time being, I know we don't have enough wood for that. That'll be 70 wood. I like the idea of we're having more beds in here. You know, because if something bad happens, we need spaces for people to get healed up and treated. And I like the idea of it being in a nice sterile room, or, you know, at least the floor sterile. Not sure about wooden beds in a medical ward like, but we'll see how we get on. I was really hoping the music was going to kick in there. It's a little bit sort of Bob Ross-like, the music, you know, it's joy of painting. It's very sort of chilled and relaxed. If only I had a massive sort of red afro. I have got a beard, and I haven't got a particularly soft voice, and I do shout a lot, and I'm not a very good painter unless it's Warhammer models. But yeah. Ooh, the wind's picked up. Let's just, while we're waiting, speed things up so we can get the daylight. Solar generator would be 100 steel and 3 components. Well, we've got 1500 steel, so that's not an issue. 43 components. You know what? I reckon we could quite easily plonk down a few solar generators. And that's going to really help with storage of electricity. During the day, at least, it'll really help fill these up. We'll get some more batteries down. We might expand this out, potentially. Fit a couple more batteries in. Give ourselves a nice stockpile of electricity. You know, and battery power. That might be quite good. So we need to make sure these are going somewhere where they're not going to be in shade for obvious reasons. You know, the whole solar panel thing. So I want them to be kind of like in a fairly open space. I don't want them somewhere where they're accidentally going to get like shot or damaged. We have blocked off this area. So as far as I'm concerned, this area is fairly secure down here. Yes, somebody could blow this up. This is only wooden walls. But they're much more likely to try and find the path of least resistance. They will circle the base going at the top. So, can I just double check the light level? I don't know. You see how there's shadows moving in? There's a big wall here. And the shadows from like these mountainous areas as well. I just want to make sure. So yeah, I'm looking down in the bottom left there, and it's showing us things like, is there grass, what sort of terrain is it. It's also telling us the light level, and it's saying all of this is brightly lit. So that suggests to me it's perfect for solar panels. Even over here though, just double check Gonzo. So yeah, I mean that's still saying brightly lit, if I'm honest. And I know this means running cables. Nobody likes running cables. Run them through the little bit of wall there. This is out the way. It's not like this is like draped like down a corridor that people laying left, right and centre. You know, people don't like the cables and the power conduits being exposed. But we'll get these things built. We'll also want to expand out this, just as people are building. Mental break, food binge. Somebody's throwing a wobbler. Shiro Settler is pigging out on food. The final straw was a very ugly environment. Very ugly. Where you been? I know it's bad. Is it this? Have you been trying to do stuff in here and it's just sent you snooker looty? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think from the looks of it, he wants an impressive bedroom. I'm greedy. Well, he wants a bionic body part. I mean, I can and chop one of your arms off and wedge a bit of wood in there. That's sort of bionic. Certainly not what's meant to be there, I suppose. Feeling bad off bedroom. He actually quite likes being in the kitchen. That's handy. Yeah, so I mean, he wants an impressive bedroom, so really what he's looking for is a bigger bedroom that's got art in it. Well, we don't have any art, so sorry, Shiro. One thing we're not short of, though, is food. So you fill your boots eating the dodgy rice that probably Shredder cooked and will give you the shits. This is herbal medicine. Nice. It's good. We've got a crop of herbal medicine coming in. Throw that up here. Got this set in mind? Yes, we do. We also, while I'm here, that needs to be floored. Other thing that I might do, I know we've had this discussion before. The heat is sucked out of this room, which is effectively a freezer, and it blows out into here, and it makes the place quite warm. I mean, it's currently 29 degrees indoors because it's warm outside. What I might do is put a door in here, so the stockpile room will get warm, but the rest of it might be a bit cooler, because we are in quite a sort of a warm, arid kind of area, and they might appreciate having not a cold environment, but somewhere a little bit cooler when they're indoors. It's worth doing. Again, more wood that we don't have. Plonk that there. Havoc. Alright, we're just preparing the ground here. Come and put down the solar panels. These all connected? Yeah, they are. So they built all the power conduits, that's good. Now this will make a big difference to the amount of electricity that we store. To be honest, the wind isn't doing a bad job, even when it's quiet, because we're generally running off a fuel generator. So how do I play this then? Well, one thing we could do, I know I'm issuing loads of orders here, but if we mine that out, we can get another battery in there, we can get a battery in there, it's going to be a tiny bit too small. What happens if we mine that out, we could put a battery in there and a battery in there. I mine it out so they're both accessible. My thought was, if we just build in there, we could make a little mini room. Don't need those bits then. We'll just fit 2 batteries into the wall there. That would give it another 3 batteries that we've got access to. That's more than enough. We'll be absolutely fine with that. Potentially that would be 1 battery, 2 battery, 3 battery. I think we could even put one in there. So yeah, that would be loads. If we can get all those filled up, even with a few turrets on the go, would be sitting fairly pretty in terms of power. Which is good. I have had previous colonies where I've really struggled with my power as I've went into the mid-game. I would say we're not even really in the mid-game, the way that things are going at the minute. I don't know why. I should probably look at the settings. I'm not sure if it's maybe where we are, maybe there's just no pirates nearby. But I just do not understand why we haven't been raided. Because we've got some good resources now. Generally the game, I'll keep an eye on your resources, and when you've started to get a good stockpile together, it basically makes it so you become an attractive target to hostile factions. But we're not seeing anything. We're not really getting any visitors either, so I'm not sure what on earth's going on. We are getting that solar panel built. Oh, nice. So, solar panel is built. It's producing about 1500 watts. Nice. Slowly coming down, but you'd expect that because it's getting darker. So we built them just in time for nightfall. Ain't that marvellous? Connected rate, that is dropping. But we are starting to collect some... Oh, you are joking! Havoc! He failed at building the solar panel. You wasted 50 steel and 3 components. 2 components. We don't have that kind of shiz to get rid of. Shiro is still snooker-looty, just eating everything in sight. But I mean, he has got a heavy machine gun, so if he wants to eat some rice, I ain't gonna stop him. Could really do with that being finished. I was hoping that would be done in time for the end of the episode. Don't know. We usually record for like half an hour. We're at about the halfway point of the episode now. Might get finished. Might. But I have given them a lot of fiddly orders, and we have got a colonist who's just eating instead of doing anything. Lumi is just tidying these bricks. Alright. No worries. Don't know why. Having something to eat there. Schrader's getting food poisoning from a simple meal. Well, doesn't that reek of justice, Schrader? Puddles. Hello. Okay. See what's occurring next. Did we actually collect that fabric in? I don't think anybody bothered the backside to come down here and grab it. I think we collected the herbal medicine in. I think it was down in this corner. Yeah. There was some resources that came down with like a crashed ship. And there was some fabric. I mean, this is leather that we've gotten, rat leather and squirrel leather from two creatures we killed way early on. But I am not seeing... What's all this? Mountain of steel, just out in the middle of nowhere. Somebody come and grab that. Somebody come and grab those as well. Steel slag, I think we've said we can put it up here as well, haven't we? Can do stone blocks. Chunks, yeah, so... Steel slag we'll put up here. I think at some point we might need to do something with it. I think you either refine it or smelt it and you can turn it into steel. Which will be nice. Alright, Anessa's coming to bed. The rest are all asleep. We will get your room finished at some point, Anessa. It is handy having a fifth colonist. Puddles is asleep. Come on, somebody attack us. Somebody do something. You know, I'm making videos here for YouTube. Stuff needs to happen. Can it all just be me talking shite? We still don't have any wood, though. Cargo pods. Again, we're just getting random stuff dropping instead of being attacked. What's this? Yayo. Yayo's a drug. I think that's supposed to be cocaine. Yayo is a bit of a 80s kind of slang term for cocaine. Might actually be what it is in Colombia, maybe? I don't know. All I know is they say yayo quite a bit in Scarface. Find my powder, snort it to produce a euphoric high. Yayo reduces the user's need for rest and suppresses pain. It is, however, addictive. My colonists generally are a little bit prone to sort of mental breaks. And we do have a Nessa who is quite keen on chemicals, so I'm not keen on bringing in 26 whatever units of yayo / cocaine into my base. So, you know what, that's gonna sit there and rot. What sort of cargo ship is ejected 26? Is that doses, grams, kilograms? I've no idea. I would imagine... I don't want that... It's quite close to me base. Christ, if Anissa gets one whiff of that, she's going to be high as a kite. It's currently set to forbidden, so I'm not sure if Anissa will overwrite that and just go, I don't care if you as the player are saying, don't go near it. I'm not sure if that means that she'll actually ignore that if she knows it's there. It might just go and start snorting it anyway. It'll be a lot of fun finding out. Floors. Wood floors. Build them from the wood that we don't have. Yeah, I know we do need wood, so I'm going to highlight a massive section of the map fairly close by, and just say, just fetches wood. Oh yeah, there's quite a few trees up there, loads over there. Right, that's more than enough wood than we're ever going to need. Well, no. That's quite a bit of wood that will last for some time. But I'll set a quite wide area, and hopefully at some point people will go and chop it up. Look at the work tab. Who's not really doing much at the moment? Because I think plant cutting counts as like wood cutting as well. Something's happening. I can hear pigs squealing. Murder! Puddles the cat has eaten a rat. Bit off its front leg. Jesus. You alright, Puddles? Yeah, pounced. Murdered the rat. Don't try and attack the emu, it'll kick your face off. Oh well, that's quite good, Puddles. Well done. Feed yourself. Do we need to make kibble for the cat? I think we can do it from a stove. Nope. Can't seem to see how to do it there. Butcher table. Butcher table, make kibble. Do until you have 10 kibbles. Raw food. Here. Meat. Do we feed murdered pirates to Puddles? It's a good way of taking care of that. Human meat is on the menu. No, there's something savoury about that. At some point, if we do move on to Alpha 17, I might play as an evil cannibal colony. But you know what? It's not like I play loads and loads of RimWorld on this channel where we run out of ideas of things to do. There's enough stuff going on just with regular vanilla game where we don't have to worry about mods, or we don't need to worry about setting ourselves wacky conditions. May look at that at some point. Certainly might start thinking about it if nothing happens around here. I don't know why. This is a really kind of lucky, relaxing break that we're getting for a game. But we've been playing for ages. We haven't been attacked. I don't know why. We've seen like the odd person with a club show up, but we haven't been attacked en masse. Not at any point that's really caused any kind of concern. So the game's really going easy on me, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. Floors, wood. Seems to be all I've said this episode. Just do stuff with wood. Wood, 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 wood. At least the music still jams. What's that? Havoc's gotten food poisoning from a simple meal. What a surprise. We have actually brought the remains of Puddle's dead rat into the freezer. It'd be quite good if we could kibble it up. Maybe see if Puddles would eat that instead. Don't think there's anything else that we really need to build either. I know we have got the sandbags at the top. You use steel to build sandbags. We've got one bunker. What I might do is do like a bit of a fallback position here. So it provides cover. It slows things down as people cross over, but I quite like the idea of both the entrances to a complex having like a kind of like a firing line, or having like a firing position. Don't want anything over here. Want that nice and open, so if somebody is in prison, tries to break out, they're just shot to pieces when they try and escape. Who's that? Still just talking about Havoc's jacket. We're not bothered about that. Since we've got research, we've got stone cutting in here. Sure, there's something about increases work speed. Needs to be placed near a workbench. One workbench can be linked to 2 tools cabinets. Well, a workbench, I think, is like the stone cutter's table, so we could put a tool cabinet nearby, and then maybe put something else down. I mean, it's 200 steel, but we're not short of steel. So yeah, it's saying, look, that connects to that. So it doesn't do anything for the research bench. It does work for the butchering table as well, which is interesting. So we could potentially chuck it down there, and then put the butcher's table in there, and then it speeds up the work rate of doing stuff. It's a big investment though, and I don't really think that it's going to pay off. There is other things that we could build though, so I'm thinking something like a hand tailor's bench might be quite handy. It's an electric stove that we use, which is good. An electric tailor's bench. Sculptor's table. 50 steel, 75 wood. 50 steel, 3 components, 75 wood. How do I want to play this? I do quite like the idea at some point of maybe doing some sculpting. Because when you create some art, it gives you like a little story. It tells you what the art is of, and it's usually if your colonists doing something that's happened in the game, which is really cool. Sort of randomly generated, but it adds a nice little bit of flavour. So I am quite liking the idea of having that at some point. But I think probably it would make more sense if we've got maybe like a tailoring bench, because at some point we can start making our own clothes. We can either then sell those clothes, or alternatively, we can start outfitting our colonists. At the moment, they're still wearing the stuff that they landed with. So if we put that down into electric, should speed things up if we do need to manufacture clothes. And it's something that we can look into doing. So as these clothes start getting a bit worn, we can use that. In terms of producing armour, I don't think you do that from a tailor's bench. Not sure if you can. But it's worth looking at, because if we could start maybe making our own armoured jackets or helmets or something like that, that might be pretty cool. I think to do that though, what you actually need is like a smelter. You need some slightly more advanced stuff. So that comes back down to research. And I think for the time being, the research we haven't been doing, and I don't know why. It's a bit strange. We should in the work order. You know what, Shiro, you do loads of other bits and pieces. I'm going to set you and say, can you do a little bit of research at some point? And you know what, we'll keep that at 4. Yeah, I want you to focus. If you're not mining and you're not healing somebody, yeah, I want you to go and do the research. So, speed things up ever so slightly. Still nobody's done anything in this bedroom. And nobody seems to be doing the wood chopping either. So I'm not sure if I've maybe caused a bit of a problem. Could it be that it's this mining order is just causing all of the trouble? Yeah, you know what? There's more important stuff to be doing. As much as it makes sense to be getting rid of all this, we do need to get rid of it. At the moment, if we do get attacked, we'll worry about that when we get to it. You know, we'll stand there and trade shots. I'm still quite happy about that. What we do need though is wood. We've got outstanding orders of stuff that needs building. Rats being chopped up. Rat leather. Rat meat. Oh, and I think that's kibble being made. Yep, making kibble. So there we are. So we're getting some kibble together. Mixed meat and plant resources. Humans can eat it, but they really, really don't like it. But we're making some cat food. You know what? Puddles, we've kept you here for like weeks, and we've not actually given you any food. You've had to go out and do some hunting yourself, which I'm sure you probably quite enjoy, but there you go. Have some proper cat food. Possibly Whiskers. I don't know any other brands of cat food. I don't have a cat. I don't particularly like cats, apart from Puddles. But Puddles is a computer game representation of a cat, which is far superior to an actual cat. You know, just wondering. I wonder if we can get a male cat and then have baby cats. But to do that, we need a trader. We need a trader with a male cat. You can see the generators here are working absolutely fine. So during the day, we've got the sunshine and we've got the turbine. So even though the generator is now out of wood because we haven't bothered our asses to go and get some for ages, it's actually still doing absolutely fine. I think we'd make it through the night quite comfortably with that. Keep the refrigerator on, keep the lights burning. I mean, I don't want to rely on that forever. What is everybody doing? So, Havoc is still stone cutting. So we've got 266 blocks. We'll keep them there. We'll keep them there. We've now got 266 blocks involving 200 marble blocks. Jesus, that's why he hasn't been doing the research. There was a bottleneck there. Yeah, so now we can actually build some marble walls if we want, which might look quite snazzy. Start doing the outside of our base up. Quite like the idea of that. At the very least, you know, we could hollow these out and we could put marble walls in the, you know, around the bedrooms. They'd probably quite like that. But I mean, that's a massive job in itself. Maybe that's a one for next episode, you know. It'll look horrible because we'll have to chisel all of this out and it'll take forever. But then we replace them with marble walls and then everybody's got really nice looking sweet bedrooms. So I might look at that. I'm not sure if there's any difference between the different types of stone in terms of their thermal conductivity, because if we replace the ones around the freezer with marble, would that make it even better? Because to my knowledge, I think if marble, is a really good heat conductor. Like marble can feel really warm in the heat and it can feel absolutely freezing in colder conditions. Coldness needs a treatment. What's up? Asthma. You got stabbed in the ear at some point, you poor bugger. Yeah. Can you treat yourself? Somebody got a like Lumi might be having like a bit of an asthma attack. Somebody did get some wood and chucked it in the generator. A little bit of wood. I mean, can you sleep off asthma? I don't think you can. I have asthma myself. The last thing you'd want to do... Thank Christ, good on you, Shiro. Yeah, the last thing you'd want to do if you've got a really tight chest and an asthma attack's go and see if you can sleep it off. Jesus. And finally, we've got research being done. Finally. That is good, and he's actually doing research at quite a little rate there as well. Okay, that's quite good. You know what? We've done some good things this episode. I think we've streamlined a few bits and pieces. We didn't get that bedroom built, which is annoying as hell, but we have got some wood coming in. We have got Shiro doing some research. Things are starting to kind of pick up. Let's just pray that next episode something happens, you know. Maybe we'll get some visitors or we'll get attacked. We need something to happen. I appreciate, you know. I've got to deal with the hand that the game gives us. It's given us quite a good hand here, really, in terms of things being relaxed, but not when it comes to YouTube videos. In any event, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, you can always hit that like button. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to catch up with me at Ewok, search for GonzoEwok on Twitter or on Facebook. You'll find we're pretty good in general at getting back to people. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.